mentioned it just going into the break, and Simon, we're going to pour over this now because this is a change in strategy, if you like. One of the biggest clubs in the world, if not the biggest, this lunchtime. Manchester United telling us that they are delighted to announce the promotion of John Murtagh to football director and former player Darren Fletcher to technical director, two new roles that will further strengthen the club's overall football operations. As well as all that, it's our understanding that a director of football will also be appointed further down the line. So it's all change at Manchester United this lunchtime. Ed Woodward, Manchester United's executive vice chairman, is saying these are hugely important appointments that reinforce the progress we have been making as a club in recent years in our relentless pursuit of success. So there we are, former player Darren Fletcher, now technical director at Manchester United, and this man John Murtagh is promoted to football director. Trevor, United moving this lunchtime behind the scenes of that, there is no doubt.
Well, I think they're coming into the 21st century, aren't they? They relied so much upon Sir Alex Ferguson to do everything, recruitment, look after the club, manage the club, be the spokesman for the football club. But I think the job has become so big and you're not really going to get that kind of character of Sir Alex Ferguson again. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, his main role now is to manage the players, get the performance out of the players, get the results from the players. And I think this will be a huge welcome from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that he's now got help with technical director Darren Fletcher. Obviously played for the football club, 342 games. He's one of them players that comes across really professional, knows the game inside out. I think I've seen a bit of his punditry, comes across well, like he knows the game, is a scholar of the game. 80 caps for Scotland, so he understands football, and I think it's a huge step forward for Manchester United and a real positive.
Well, these two are going to work hand in glove, Simon, it seems, because Darren, we're told, will work closely with John to add technical input and direction into all football and, wait for it, performance areas.
Yep.
Football and performance areas.
Yeah.
So what is your take on this? I know you obviously had a technical director at Crystal Palace. We'll get to that in a second. How will Solskjaer feel about this lunchtime?
Well, he recruited Darren Fletcher into his coaching staff. So with the best one in the world, I would imagine he feels that it's progression in providing a cohesive set of thinking alongside his own to get him the wish lists that he may have in his pursuit of success, which I think will evade him, but that's a different discussion. But the idea that Manchester United are moving towards, they've got an embarrassment of riches now. We've gone from having no support of director level support for him apparently, and no interface between Ed Woodward and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to having two and potentially three. And you know, Darren Fletcher is 37 years of age, played for this club for a number of years, and will understand the dynamics of the club. What it means to Manchester United, does it give him best in class? It goes down the route that I often think that the best in class is what you get, and I'm not sure that these guys are the best in class, because Darren can't possibly be, because he's learning his trade, but he may well become that. John Murtagh, I don't know enough about to give a view on either which way. But if they're sophisticating and looking at the ways to improve every aspect of the technical side of their business, from performance statistics through to data evaluation, through to player recruitment, through to the development of the academy, through to the interface between the first team and the academy, and bringing through players with a certain set of thinking and performance criteria that are beginning to become more and more prevalent inside elite football clubs, then of course it's going to add value. The question for me, and I can't help but ask it, is if Manchester United want to be the best club in the world again, on a number of fronts, then they have to get the best in class to be able to achieve that. And we've spoken about the various sporting directors, whether it's Marcel Brands, or whether it's the guy at Sevilla that comes with all the reputation, or whether it's a variety of other people.
Sure.
And I suspect that they will know more about these appointments, but it can't be a disadvantage, can it?
No,
it
for
answers
sure.
certain questions, and Darren Fletcher will tick certain boxes.
The choice here of these two individuals, Trevor, is all important, because as you described, Darren Fletcher, of course, hugely popular at Manchester United, was a massively popular player under Sir Alex, knows exactly what makes Manchester United tick. And this fella, John Murtagh, he joined United in January 2014. He's actually been promoted from his current role as head of football development, and he will have overall responsibility for all football matters. Now, it begs the question, where does the director of football fit in then, Simon?
Well, according to the structure I'm reading on
this
Sky,
is quite a structure they've built.
Well, according to what I'm reading on Sky, he falls into reporting into John Murtough.
Right.
So John Murtough sits on top of it, the director of football sits beneath it, and Darren Fletcher sits alongside the director of football. That's what the structure looks like, with probably very differently, clearly defined roles. So John Murtough is the main man. He's the guy that is Ed Woodward's solution to all the accusations that have been brought over the last 2 years about his inability to do deals, his inability to identify talent. He doesn't have any football nous. He's not given the support. Get Woodward away from the front end of the football operation. Let him deal with the sponsorship deals. Well, John Murtough's his man.
Well, we're talking about Darren Fletcher being very experienced in matters Manchester United as a player. Murtough has a 23-year career and was previously the Premier League's head of elite performance. He had senior academy and development roles at other clubs as well. So he comes in, Simon, with shed loads of experience. What is intriguing, Trevor, is that they've gone from having Ed Woodward and only Ed Woodward now to a three-man structure behind the scenes, which it would seem is an extremely powerful one.
It does, and I think, you talk about the DNA of Manchester United. They've always had and always will have that connection and that pathway from the youth team through the youth developments and into the first team. Rashford, Mason Greenwood, there's players there that it's evident, we can see that. And I think this is just shoring that up. I think they've lost a little bit of ground in terms of their academy and the results the academy get, and I think they just want to continue to improve that, be able to compete, but also continue that tradition of bringing players through from the youth team. And you look at Darren Fletcher, I think he's a perfect candidate because he was someone that you wouldn't say was blessed with the most ability as a footballer, but got the best out of himself. Now, if he can translate that into the way that he develops youngsters at the Manchester United Academy, then they're on to a good thing. John Murtough, like you say, he's been involved was it with England in the development there?
And he was involved in the Premier League before.
No,
Trevor,
he feels similar to Dan Ashworth, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He feels similar to that sort of appointment with that sort of expertise.
But Simon, I tell you where this is going, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said recently they're not going to spend big in the next window.
I know where it's going.
You can forget Erling Haaland in that one.
I know where it's
and then
going.
you see Darren Fletcher will help to maintain the integral link between the academy and the first team. That's the direction United are going.
And if you look at the criteria that John Murtough comes from, it's a vast difference between being an academy-based individual that deals with performance statistics to stepping up a level to being the man responsible for blue-chip recruitment, i.e. top-end players. So they obviously believe that there's a real fundamental requirement to ensure that the production line of top-quality players that Manchester United should be producing is there, and that they can constantly and repeatedly look at the dynamics of the Marcus Rashford blueprint or the Mason Greenwood blueprint. Because if you can get those players like the Phil Fodens, Greenwoods of the world into your team through an academy structure, you ain't spending 50, 60 million pounds to get them.
But Simon, is that not the fundamentals of every
should be, shouldn't it, Trev?
But
it's gone by the wayside. I mean, I'm singing your particular song. It should be music for your ears, this sort of dynamic, because that's where it should be. But so many, when you hear football clubs like Huddersfield scrapping their academy, Birmingham scrapping their academy, it makes your blood boil, doesn't it?
Yeah, Brentford. Yeah. I'm delighted about this for Manchester United, but more so for the kids of Manchester and kids that join that academy, because it shows the intent of Manchester United to continue to bring players through from that youth academy into the first team.
So you could also play devil's advocate. It also plays into the narrative that the Glazers don't want to put loads of money in the football club to buy players. You can spin it both ways, can't you?
There's truth in that as well,
It might be.
So that's the breaking news this lunchtime, that Manchester United pleased to announce the promotion of John Murtough to football director and Darren Fletcher to technical director, two new roles at the club that they tell us will further strengthen the club's football operations.